I spent way too much of my precious life thinking that I was the reason for people acting a certain way. It was always about me. I did something wrong. I looked at them the wrong way. They don't like what I said. What if I told you and reminded you that it actually isn't about you? Most of the time it isn't about you. Think about it like this. Maybe you've been in a stressful situation, you're missing a flight, something that is pressing, it's a little annoying to you, and you react to somebody, you snip, or you don't smile as much as you normally do, and the other person takes it like, oh my gosh, I did something wrong, but really you're in a bad mood. That is how life is most of the time. And I used to walk around so insecure and so concerned about other people's reactions to my, just to communicating with me, experiencing me. Oh my gosh, why are they looking at me like that? Oh my gosh, they looked at me a certain way. Oh my gosh, why do they have a bad attitude? What did I do? It's not about me, and it's not about you. Life becomes so much more freeing when you realize this truth, when you realize that, you know what, I'm gonna be me, because this is how it would be. Also, I'd be like happy and positive, and I wouldn't get that same reaction, and I'd be like, oh my gosh, do they not like me? Oh my goodness, what if they're just in a bad mood today? What if they are just, not like, what if your light is too bright for them? Like, it's not about you. And when we can go about this life and be who we want to be ourselves, be our confident selves without caring what anybody thinks about us, be excited to live even if somebody else doesn't feel that way, and not projecting every single emotion that someone, like how they're acting onto us, life will just be better. It is so freeing when you can just be yourself in this life. And you know what, maybe sometimes people will give you a bad look, maybe sometimes people will be rude to you. Okay, and then what? Like, I think sometimes we need to ask ourselves, what are we so afraid of? Like, I just think about my younger self and I'm like, why was I always so concerned about, like, if people were looking at me? Maybe it's because I didn't want to look at myself, maybe it's because I didn't want to see myself. It's all a projection. Everything is a mirror, okay? So if you are going throughout this life and you're like, why I don't want to feel, it's because you're in, like, something within you don't want to see. Like, when you're like, okay, why was this person giving me an attitude? There's something that you need to look at within yourself. Okay, why are you so concerned if they're giving you an attitude? Do you not feel good enough inside so that if someone else is giving you an attitude that threatens that inner, self? It really is when you gain that self-confidence to not care. I mean, like, I guess maybe I can talk about like how to stop caring. I think having a relationship with yourself, I really love to preach that when you get to know yourself, when you actually get to love yourself, you can't love yourself if you don't know yourself. You will have this inner confidence that you know who you are, you like you. And a lot of people don't like themselves. Like, if you, like, be honest, like, do you like yourself? And if the answer is no, that's okay, we can work with that. But if it is, that's great. Now, remember that when you are being faced with criticism or being faced with, a bad attitude or a weird look, like, remember who you are. But if you don't like yourself, let me encourage you to spend time with yourself. Let me encourage you to get to know yourself more. Let me encourage you to stop doing the things that cause you to not like yourself. Like, there's so many habits that we have and things that we do that we don't like about ourselves. And when we continue to stop doing that and build the person that we want to be around, it's a lot easier to like ourselves. And when you like yourself, when you actually can sit in your own company, no one else's reaction will matter. And it's just like, what a life. And can I just remind you that people aren't concerned about you. Like, really, if people do give you a bad look or whatever, like, they're not gonna be pondering that throughout the whole day. Like, okay, yeah, maybe you did annoy them, but like, oh well, like, you're the center of your own reality. I want you to remember that you are the center of your own life. No one is contemplating anything about you. And sometimes to really untrain this part of myself, because especially out in public, I would struggle with that. I would be walking through the streets, etc., and just think that it was like so weird. It's like, I'm not the main event of this life. Why was I thinking that? But you really have to, like, have laser focus on where you're going and really just not like I had to stop looking at people for a time. I couldn't look at people because I knew I would make a snap judgment. And this could be relatable or not. Like there's like two types of people. Like someone like overly is thinking what everyone is thinking, and it's like really narcissistic if you really think about it. Like I do not want to live like my life like that. But yeah, I had to go throughout this time where I literally just could not look at anybody because I knew I would make thoughts. And if that's where you're at and you need to do that, you know, go straight throughout your life and don't look at other people. But I just want to remind you that it's not about you. It's really never been about you. People can be giving you a bad attitude because of a multitude of reasons. I remember when I lost somebody in my family, I was not as cheerful and joyful as I was, you know, out in public and, you know, at the Walmart and stuff. I'm usually very kind. And although I wouldn't be rude to people if they, you know, when I'm going through a hard time, I'm just not my best self. And I want you to remember that when you're out in public, when you're dealing with people, you're dealing with people who are going through a lot of things, and they're not always going to want to be super happy and cheerful, and it's not about you. Okay, love you guys.